Hello, my name is Xbox Live Gaming, and this is the review for Fairy Tail Chapter 600 and 360. In this chapter, we had a fight between Jackal and Natsu, where this is actually very interesting. We start the chapter with their fighting. Yeah, Jackal decides to blow up the town, so he just does his explosives around him. Once again, this makes Natsu really pissed off, so Natsu attacks him. So Natsu really dominates for the entire match, and like in my mind, while reading, I'm like, okay, is it going to be like Laxus versus Tempesta? Because if it's like that, it's gonna suck. So he's just kicking his ass, and like he throws the bombs and bombs at Natsu, but Natsu just sucks them up. And then like he just keeps punching and punching. Like Jackal's not even doing anything at the moment. And then like, he does some kind of uppercut on him. So like he's really dominating. Like Natsu is dominating this match for like the most part. That's kind of good. That's kind of good if you're like rooting for Fairy Tail. That's not good if you want Tartaros to actually show their violence and don't lose on the first fights like Tempesta did. But since Tempesta's not dead, you might see a rematch in the future. Either way, we go back to this fight. They're still fighting. Like before Tempesta has to say something, Natsu ends up giving what I thought was the final blow, knocking him out. So like once again, like just like how Laxus and like the Thunder Tribe, they thought that after Laxus hit Tempesta it was over. It wasn't though. Like not the rest of them, Natsu, Lucy, the rest, they thought it was over when Natsu hit that what I thought was the final blow on Jackal, but it wasn't like that. He gets back up. He says that like Natsu has bombs inside of him or something because he touched him, and like before and it ends with this panel showing Natsu like dead. He's not dead. It's kind of not good to him dead, but like he's like out cold. So before that, like he tells Natsu screams at everyone to run away as fast as they can. They do so. He blows up in front of them, but his body is still intact. Jackal is very like surprised. He says he's lucky for that. Even though his body's still intact, he's on the floor. He's knocked out. That means that this is Natsu a goner for this fight. Is Jackal the winner? Like is Natsu just playing possum and like even though from this point of view, from this chapter, Jackal kicked his ass. And that's what we're supposed to be doing here with Tara. Like we're supposed to be like showing their villainous. Like don't be like how Laxus dominated that match against Tempesta. Like have Tartaros actually kick some ass, because that's what it needs to be. Like if they're like gonna be like the last, if this is gonna be like the last arc with the last villain, like you don't want them dying all the time. Like I don't like fast matches like Laxus versus Tempesta. No, this is actually a good match because one, Natsu apparently lost the match, but the way for all we know, he might play possum or another person might join this battle. Even though that's one for Taurus and zero for Fairy Tail. Because I don't feel like counting Laxus versus Tempesta, even though like that match never ended. No, come on, it's the main character is Natsu. There's no way he's dead. I know in some animes people die, but it's not like this early in the arc that your main character is gonna die like that. I rate this chapter an 8.5 out of 10. And I like the fighting. The fighting was great. All that was great. We had a lot of story progression in this fight. Finally, after Tartaros finally beat someone up. So, like, it was all great. Like, we had, like, the worry parts. They all thought he was dead. They all was cocky to think he was dead. But no, because he just came up and blew you up, Natsu. So, like, this actually shows a lot though. Like for if they could beat Natsu or like damage him to that extent, like how will like the others even mainly touch them? For like, from I know this thing's gonna go. I know I have a great feeling that not everyone in Fairy Tail will survive this war between Tartaros, and that's actually kind of good. Like it's gonna be like the first times we see deaths, so let's go on with the deaths. Even though like one of my main points is that Jackal is gonna die in its arc because of the reason they're hunting him. Um, I have a feeling not to also die in this arc. If it's like Rave Master, if any of you heard of that, it's Hiroshima's other work. If any of you heard of that, like you see how that ended with the war and that stuff. Yeah, if it's like that, then I don't know if he just wanted to make a copy of it, even though Fairy Tail is better, because even Hero says it's better, and you can't argue with the person who make it. It's like it's not even funny at all. Even that's all for the thumbs up if you actually like this chapter, because I loved it. I like how Tartaros already kicks some ass, like Natsu like down and out, and that's what's important here for they can showcase their freaking strength and villainous. Even though thumbs up for the video for the chapter, and if you're ready for the outcome of this match for 361, get ready, and I'm Xbox Live Gaming, and have an awesome day.